Hey guys, it's Nick here. In my last video, I showed a demonstration of me using this hand drill to make a friction fire. Well, today I'm going to do it again, and this time I'll explain a little more about what I'm doing as I do it. So, if you want to start fire with a hand drill, you first need to collect your materials. And probably the hardest piece to find is your spindle. You need a fairly straight, skinny stick in order for this to work, and most of the time you will want something that has a pith center. So like this stick here has a pith center. Now this is from seep willow. This is a stick from a seep willow bush or plant, and they grow here locally in Arizona, and so this is what I could use. If you're back east or in other parts where, this is a desert plant, but if you're somewhere else where you don't have this plant, you can use cattail. I know a lot of people use mullein, and I've heard that thistle can work. So you just need to do a little research about your area and find what would be good for a spindle. And then for your baseboard, you want something that is fairly soft, in my opinion at least. And this here is a piece of saguaro rib. It's really strong wood, but it's fairly soft. There's a lot of different types of wood you can use for this. And then for me, I like to carry this little piece of leather to catch my ember. So first thing you want to do is, when you have your pieces all ready, you get your baseboard, and you want to carve it down fairly flat, maybe a 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch right through there, and straight and flat. And your spindle, I would suggest no larger than pinky size, unless you have really big fat pinkies, but something that's fairly skinny, because for instance this spindle is rather large and it hurts a lot more than this skinnier one does. This one will give me blisters twice as fast as this little guy does. So, collect your materials. Then you want to take your knife and start to make a little divot in your baseboard. Just barely, you don't need to do very much, just enough to allow your spindle to start drilling a hole. Then you'll take your spindle, and I like to sit cross-legged when I do this, so I take this leg and I put my foot on the baseboard here to hold it in place. Now, you want to start spinning, and once you see smoke, stop. Okay, there's a little bit of smoke. Now you can see what I've done is I've burned that hole in. Let me get a little closer here. I don't know if you can see that, but I just burned the hole in. That's all you want to do at that point. Then you'll take your knife, and we're going to notch this out so that when you create that dust when you're spinning it, it will fall out here, and you'll catch it on your piece of leather or whatever you have. If you're in the bush, you can use a green leaf, just anything that won't burn. So I'm going to start notching this here, and then I'll show you the way I've notched it. See if you can see these lines. I'm going to notch it so that the top hole is smaller and it gets wider as I go down. So, like an upside down V is how I want that notch to be. practice knife safety, guys. Just cut myself pretty bad on my knuckle. Let me take care of this, I'll be right back. Okay, so I couldn't find a Band-Aid, so I'm going to make a makeshift Band-Aid here with some medical tape and a tampon. It's a pretty deep cut there. I'm just going to steal the cotton padding out of this tampon. Just a little chunk of it. Have some triple antibiotic ointment, help prevent infection. Alright, hopefully you guys can learn from my mistake and don't do what I did. That was stupid. I was cutting towards myself and I paid the price. Okay, get back to the video. Alright, so this is how you want it to look. Focus. Okay, this is how you want it to look, top view. Come on, focus. There we go. And then it's hard to tell, but it's notched out like that. Okay, that's what you want. Set your knife aside, you're pretty much done with that. Then get your piece of leather, stick it underneath your spot where you burned in and notched out. And then take your spindle, and at first you're just spinning to create dust. So you don't have to do a whole lot of downward pressure. You'll see a pile of dust start to build up down here on your piece of leather or your leaf or whatever you're using to collect your dust. So spin pretty easy at first. And now, like right now, I can tell it's not creating a lot of dust. My spindle, I've used this a few times. So I'm going to take my knife and cut the black away from the tip, because that part's real smooth and it's not creating very much friction. So just take some of that black off the tip there, and you should be able to tell a difference if you have that problem. Okay, I can feel it. There's a lot more friction now, and I can see it's creating more dust. So I can see smoke. I'm going to go a couple more times. Whoops. Well, actually, it's still smoking on its own, so I'm probably good right there. Maybe not. No, I lost it. Okay, so I'm going to bring you in for a closer view, and we'll do that again. Okay, so we're in for a closer view. I've still got enough wood left in this hole to use this hole again. Otherwise, if I had already drilled down too far, I would need to start another hole like I showed you. But we'll use this one again. So first I'm just spinning, not too much downward pressure. I'm just trying to create some dust that will catch the ember. Okay, so I can see there's dust there. Now I'm going to spin with a lot of downward pressure, and when I see smoke, I'm going to go just a little bit more, and if I stop spinning and it's still smoking, I know I've got an ember. So I'm doing a lot more downward pressure now, and I'm spinning a lot faster to try to get it as hot as I can. Okay, see how it's still smoking even though I've stopped spinning. Take your board, tap it. Okay, I've got an ember there. Now I've got a good couple of minutes I can work with this. And if you have a bird's nest, no. Okay, I can save that. If you've got a bird's nest pre-made, which you should if you're trying to make a fire, now would be the time to put the ember into your bird's nest. I've just got some cedar bark here I forgot to make into a bird's nest, but cedar bark is excellent. Oop. It shreds up real fine and is perfect for making fires. So this is a really tiny little bird's nest. We'll see if we can't make a fire with this. Let me pause it and we'll come right back. Okay, I just wanted to get a little farther out so you could see me at this point. I've got my little ember here. Put it carefully into my bird's nest. Now I'm going to try to blow this into flame. Okay, there you go. So you could see I even had time with this ember to pause the camera, set up my tripod taller, and still had enough ember, enough dust to blow it into flame there. So those are my tips on how to make a friction fire using the hand drill method. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back soon with another video.